Hey guys! So today's episode, I wanted to take a break from my story. There's so many parts and pieces of it that it's going to be a few episodes. I told you about my past, like the deepest, darkest parts, the mortification, the shame, the guilt, the being put in situations that I put myself in by drinking, like in bars and clubs and blacking out and waking up to find myself in situations that could have been bad. And for all I know, were bad. Part of being a blackout drinker means we don't ever get back those memories. We don't know everything that happened. We know bits and pieces maybe from before we blacked out. We may know bits and pieces from what people have told us, but we don't know the full story. We don't know what happened between those hours of when we were semi-lucid to when we came out of that blackout. And that's part of being a drinker, a heavy drinker, that we have to live with. I have so many questions about the things I did when I was drunk. I have so many regrets. But I have to accept that I can't go back and figure out what happened. I can't go back and change my past. All I can do is live in the present. And so I mentioned that I'm not going to go over my story today because I want to fast forward to the present. You know, just because I'm sober doesn't always mean I'm active in my recovery. It doesn't always mean that I'm perfect or that I live this amazing life. Part of my sobriety journey has been having these really gnarly ups and downs. And I'm talking really gnarly, like huge highs and sometimes really low lows. Some would say I'm depressed. Some would say I have anxiety. Whatever label you call it, I call it life. For me, life has never been this about just living this easy road, right? It means experiencing life on life's terms. And part of my sobriety has been learning to deal with those many ups and downs, the hard days, the great days, and learning how to not drink through all of those days no matter what. A prime example of this is moms, right? I'm a mom, I have a mom. And with moms, it's always this really horrible, amazing love-hate relationship. Some days I love my mom, and some days I just want to pull my hair out because she drives me fucking insane. But at the end of the day, it's like, how do I deal with this relationship? It's like a roller coaster. And so today I'm focusing on my roller coaster and being in recovery and still having a roller coaster and still creating this gnarly destruction. And I wanted to talk about it because you may be like, well, I know how alcoholics get to their bottom, but what's happening right now in current life? And that's why I'm trying not to focus only on my story of what I've done, but what I'm going through now. So a quick summary, and I'll go back over it in next episodes, but a quick summary is I came to India to undergo a medical treatment for a perianal fistula. And this was a condition I knew nothing about. And if you don't know anything about it, I hope it stays that way. I hope you never experience it because it sucks. It's the type of condition that can strip you away of all self-esteem. It makes you feel disgusting. It changes your outlook on life. I'm a part of a lot of support groups for it. And something I've been noticing, and maybe it's just because I myself am a little bit depressed right now, is how many people struggle with suicidal thoughts that have this illness. Because a quick overview of it is it's basically a channel that's constantly licking nasty fluids on you. And you can use your imagination there. I'm not going to go into the details because I still find it disgusting and I still find it hard to talk about. But I got it in October and I've been living with it, and I came to India to treat it, and treatment's going great. But once in India, that's when I found out that my life would be changing. That's when I found out that my ex was having an affair and that I had two choices. I could accept it and be okay with an open relationship, or I could divorce him. and it was my choice. It's my choice, right? I have 2 kids to think about, but I'm a selfish person. I'm so freaking selfish. And sometimes I forget how selfish I am until I get into these destructive cycles. And my sobriety hasn't always been destructive. I've had some amazing moments. I love being sober, and I work a very strong program. Coming to India changed that. I lost my program. Meetings here are so different. I am away from all of my tribe, and Wi-Fi isn't always the greatest. So coming here has been this really isolating experience of amazing times and making amazing normal drinking friends or normal drinkers as friends who are also sober due to the treatment. But I don't have that close-knit recovery group that I do in California. And so I've really had to dig deep just to stay sober. Stay sober during surgery, stay sober after surgery, stay sober during this mental break of finding out everything that I thought was true about myself and about people I cared about isn't true. But in reality, it is true because nothing's changed except for in my head. As a person, as an alcoholic, my greatest enemy is my mind. My mind, and this sounds like a crazy person, but my mind sits there and creates these scenarios and these situations, and I act on them. And when I act on them, I'm trying to control every single thing around me. And when I try to control everything around me, I create these bigger messes that create this giant pile of garbage that I eventually will have to sift through or I will drink. And so today I'm sifting through my garbage. After I found out about the cheating and I was contemplating an open relationship, I decided my best course of action would be to go find people to make me feel that void, to feel that emptiness, to fill up the cracks that in my head I convinced myself I allowed other people to make in me. I had forgotten, and I'm struggling to remember, that I don't rely on other people to make me happy. I don't rely on people to fill me up. I don't rely on other people's words to make me feel good. But it's so easy to fall back into that pattern of, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. Please make me feel good enough, and please make me feel worthy. Those are my defense mechanisms. That's what I did when I drank. That's what I did when I was a teenager and I was throwing up. I looked for outside influences to fill me up because I didn't know how to fill up myself. Now, I can justify it by saying I had this mental break, my life changed, and it fell apart, and I fell back on these insanities because this is all I know. And in a way, it's true. I've done that my entire life. When my dad died, I did that. When I was traumatized as a kid, I did it with food. But now I'm an adult. And not only am I an adult, I'm an adult in sobriety. So what does that mean for me? That means for me, I have to get my head out of my ass, and I have to start working my program again. And it starts simply by owning up to the fact that, hey, I'm not okay. That Facebook filter, it's a filter. Those words that I struggle to speak often hide half-truths behind them. We don't have to be perfect in sobriety. We don't always have to be okay. We don't have to rely on those Facebook filters to lift us up. So if you're struggling today, know that you're not alone. We don't have to do this thing alone. We don't have to think that we carry all the weight of the world on our shoulders. I'm not perfect. I'm an alcoholic. I am in recovery. Some days that recovery looks like working an amazing 12-step program, reaching out to all my friends, and being 100% honest. And some days that means I shove down my feelings until the point where I want to cry, scream, and I do stupid ass shit. But then I wake up and I come to terms with the fact that I'm creating more destruction. And I have to ask myself, am I willing to change this? Am I willing to do something different today than I did yesterday? And today, I'm ready to start changing. No more destructive behaviors. No more looking for others to fill me up. No more seeking outside influences to make me feel better. Today, I'm turning it over. I'm letting go. I'm letting my higher power take control so that I can get healthy, so that I can find my peace, so I can find my serenity again, and so that I can go back to being the person that I've strived to be. It's been a long month. And if you've relapsed or if you're going through a hardship, know that these are all just little setbacks. They suck. It feels like our life is going to end. It feels like we'll never get out of it. That life is always stomping on us. But as long as you don't drink or use, and even if you do drink or use, as long as you reach out and you become willing, your life doesn't have to continue on that trend. We have to take contrary action. My contrary action today is owning up to my shit instead of running away from it, instead of hiding underneath the blankets. Today, I'm journaling and I'm making videos and I'm posting because there's hope. There's hope as long as you never give up. Alcohol will kill you. Drugs will kill you. Our ism, our disease, our different thinking, those defense mechanisms, they will kill you because they make you unhealthy. It starts in your head and it radiates through whatever substance you choose to use, whether it's food, drugs, alcohol, sex. We can't allow people, places, or things to be our reason to die. We have to make that choice. We have to become willing to change ourselves. Thank you so much for listening. And just remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about doing the best that we can in the moment that we can. And some days it's amazing, and some days it's just like, fuck, I wish I was better. But if you're alive and you're watching, that means it can be better. You can be better. It just takes a simple hey to one person that can change your life dramatically. I know it has for me. One person's changed my life dramatically. They've kept me going. They've given me strength. They keep me going. And I don't have to rely on them to fill me up, but they compliment me in ways that I need that compliments. And we don't look for others to fill us up. What we do is we look for others we want to be with and share our lives with. Whether it's our kids, our dog, our family, our friends, or a special person. And then when we want, we get to share with them. And so that's what it is. Thanks for listening.